let me start here because it feels like there's a feud that's been going on with you and the former GM of the Colts, Bill Polian, for a long, long time. Now, how did it start, and why are we still talking about the 1998 draft?
Well, it's the 25th anniversary, so it's been a quarter century. And so people were talking about it a lot, and he went on a podcast for the 33rd team. It's a bunch of former GMs and coaches and things like that talk about what's going on in the NFL, and relive the draft story from 25 years ago. And unfortunately, there's been a story that has been out there for a long, long time that when I was asked what I would do after I was drafted, my response to the Colts at the time was that when they asked, when can you be in the facility? Can you be in, you could be there a week afterwards. And my response apparently was, I can't be there. Me and my boys have a trip to Vegas for 7 to 10 days.
Is that true?
No, I've never spoken. I had never spoken to Bill Polian. I'd never spoken to Bruce Arians. I'd never spoken to Jim Morris Sr. I missed my meeting at the Combine because of an MRI. It became a big deal. And then at my pro day, I didn't speak with any of them. I just went out and balled and spent most of my time with the Chiefs and the Chargers that day with June Jones.
Did you not want to go to the Colts?
I didn't care.
But did you want to go to the Chargers?
Didn't care. Either one for me was fine. I wasn't pushing for either. Lee Steinberg, in his book, pushed a narrative that we weren't interested in going to Indianapolis.
But I thought you told us years ago that you sort of tanked your interview with the Colts.
Never had an interview.
You bailed on them.
That was Lee. I had an MRI with the Chicago Bears. Okay. And so I missed the meeting, assumed that we would just do it again the next morning. But Jim Morris Sr. Threw a big fit in the media, and it was a big story. And I was just like, "What? This is absurd."
Okay, but is your agent responsible for this?
Yes.
Or is Bill Polian?
No, my agent is. I found out a few things over the last week. Bill Polian and I talked this week after I got after him a little bit.
Oh, he called you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to have a conversation.
Apologies?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that my wife and I were in the car. We just dropped the kid off at school when he called, so she was with me in the drive. She loves to just type on notes things I should say, and she shows it to me as I drive.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was good. Adults had a conversation. I was, I think the biggest thing is I didn't think I was worthwhile enough for the longest time to have my own back. I didn't think I had a chance in Houston at the Houston Super Bowl. McLovin and I and our wives were at Lee Steinberg's party, and I'm at the urinal, and up walks next to me is Bruce Arians. And I remember thinking in my mind at the time, I'm like, this is a perfect time to confront him.
Of course, in the urinal.
Yeah. I didn't say anything. It was like, I don't know, 3 years out of prison, and I just still felt kind of like a kind of a POS. And so I just didn't have the backbone to do it. I have a little more resolve right now. I like who I see in the mirror. So on last week, I just said I was fed up with it. I'm tired of the revisionist history. This could never have happened. We never met. So I let it be known. And I think there was a really good response from it. And I think it made me, it made me feel better about myself and finally sticking up for myself.
Yeah, because it does feel like that everybody in the Colts war room wanted to take Peyton Manning and not you, and that's not the case.
No,
that I was told that it might have been split because you had more talent than Peyton. In my opinion, you had more ability than Peyton. You had more mobility. You didn't have the approach that he had, and that's what's made him one of the great quarterbacks of all time.
I did have the approach. I watched film like crazy. I loved practice. I did all the things. I just was unprepared for how money was going to change me. You cannot quantify. Okay. You can't quantify that variable at any point. Now, I do think that's changing with NIL. I think you're going to start to get an understanding from some of these guys when they make millions of dollars while in college.
But how did money change you?
The idea that success was money, power, and prestige. I don't know where that was taught to me. It wasn't from my father. It wasn't from where I grew up. But it was that made me more important than you. And I didn't have to listen to anybody.
So you didn't have to lower yourself to a reporter asking you a question.
Right. I was rich and famous, and I played football.
If you had gone to a different franchise, any better?
No.
Oh, you were who you were, and money was going to change you.
Money And the other variable you can't quantify, and for me, we couldn't. How was I going to deal with failure at the very highest level? What if I would have led the league in interceptions my rookie year, like Peyton did? How would I have dealt with that? Probably horribly, because I saw that as failure.
Yes.
So those were the two things. Now, if I went to Indianapolis with Marshall Faulk and Marvin Harrison, may have my character defects been, let's say,
disguised,
not seen for a little while longer. But geographic change for somebody like me, it doesn't matter. No matter where I go, there I am. And so if I'm the problem, I have to fix me before any of it can be realized in a positive way. So I don't like the revisionist history around my talent, my approach.
Okay.
I think the things that need to be talked about was the idea that everything was going to be easy, like I thought it had been in college and in high school, which it wasn't. I worked my tail off, but I just, in my mind, thought I could just go out and do what I did my whole life.